Boom. First and foremost, Xavier Legette. The joke is this guy is legit, not legit, Legette. He's touted as a size speed freak, but I'm going to let Evan run through his measurables while we look at, again, we have a highlight tape and then we have specific plays from the all 22 angle that like scouters will actually look at as opposed to the YouTube. Wow, every play is good.
Yeah.
Evan, floor is yours.
Yeah, so for Xavier, he was expected to measure in at 6'3", 227. That's what he was listed at on South Carolina's website. And then Senior Bowl came around, and he just recently had a weigh-in and a measurement taken on his height, and he came in shorter than expected, as typical, at 6 foot with 6/8 of an inch, so not even 6'1", so just over 2 inches shorter than expected. And then he came in 8 pounds lighter than expected at 219. Career stats, you know, he started playing in 2019, played all of the seasons at South Carolina. So he went 9 for 81 and a touchdown. So I'm going receptions, yards, touchdowns here. And then in 2020, he went 7 for 113 and no touchdowns. 2021, 8 for 63 and a touchdown. 2022, 18 for 167 and 3. And then finally had a breakout season this past season, going 71 for 1,255 and 7 touchdowns. So it was really a late breakout. You expect as the players get a little bit older for them to start to dominate, and that's exactly what ended up happening here.
Is there any concern there with like his age-adjusted production? We're talking about somebody that it took him so long to break out. Like, is that a red flag, or is it a product of the situation that he was finding himself in?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you talk to any analytical person in the fantasy football space, they're going to tell you breakout age and how important that is. Definitely does not have the breakout metrics that you're going to want, and coming in a little bit smaller than expected on top of it. And then having Spencer Rattler there, who was such a highly recruited prospect coming out of high school, going to Oklahoma. I think most people know that story, with the now likely #1 overall pick also going there.
Who replaced him? Some little guy?
Good old Caleb Williams. You know?
Oh, never heard of him. Weird. Weird.
So, yeah, I mean, Spencer has a couple games. He's definitely just kind of a gun and chuck it type of guy, which led to this past season, him really just kind of airing it out and giving Legette the chance for the season that he had. Yeah.
So the clips that I pulled for Legette, it is the first 4 plays directly in a row of the Clemson game versus South Carolina. I think it perfectly encapsulates who he is as a prospect. I'm not going to get out in front of that now, but I'll give you my thoughts at the end. The arrow is pointing to where he is. He goes in motion, and he's going to run a little out route as they roll to the right. So let's roll the tape. I mean, fine separation, fine release, but like they had him go in motion, and that was kind of an easy situation to be in as a receiver. Like, they're not right up in your business.
I don't think for me personally that route was as flat as I thought it should have been. I think he gave the corner a chance on that route to be able to undercut the ball.
Yeah, no, it's all over his film. He rounds his routes. He tries to get away with athleticism that I was talking to a friend about this. It feels like South Carolina recruited a bunch of guys that were the best athletes in their high school, like all college athletes are, but they're not good enough that they're the best athlete in college. So now you just have a bunch of guys that were super good, but now they don't know how to be coached, but now they still play like they are built different, and they're not. So doesn't end well. This next play is just a personal favorite of mine. They send him in motion. It's a quick little dump off. It's a lateral, and it hits him in the hands, which is a bad place to throw the ball to Legette. So here you'll see him come across the screen. Again, this is the second play of the game. And like, I put a little bubble here. Like, what is going on here? This is supposed to be a design touch with an easy play. Instead, he ends up dropping the ball, getting tackled, giving up on the play early. So, disgusting. Play number 3. He is running a deep post. Remember what I talked about when the ball is at the catch point and you want to see the receiver like own the ball, like that is their ball. Yes, Rattler did not throw a great pass here. But who's jumping for the ball here? There's like an error message. It's loading over Legette's head right now.
Yeah, can I jump in here?
Yeah, of course. Let me pause it for you.
Yeah, so on the first series of plays, we saw him leave his feet repeatedly when he didn't need to and try to use his body to shield the defender to catch the ball. And it was almost like a surprise motion to catch the football when it was there. It feels like that is probably one of the weaknesses in his profile, is if he can't physically outmaneuver you, he doesn't have the ability to react quickly enough or with timing to actually catch the ball in the play design. And so it's like you said, where he feels like he is going to be able to out-athlete the defenders, and it's just not the case in a repeatable manner.
Yeah, and especially when we talk about getting to the next level, like he's already struggling with ACC. Like Clemson wasn't that great this year.
Yeah,
and he's struggling here. Evan, I'm sorry I cut you off there.
No, I was just gonna say, Genji in the chat, it's a late pass and it's underthrown. You can also say about the play concept and why is Rattler throwing the ball into a space where there's two receivers, and he's dragging the underneath coverage along with the overtop coverage, which is lagging behind, right with him, right into the space where another receiver is trying to operate. But yes, it very much feels like he doesn't have the dog in him. He's not trying to work back to the ball. He's not trying to attack through the ball to be able to get it. He's just kind of letting the ball come to him, which is a worse nightmare for a quarterback in the NFL, because the amount of times that a play can get undercut when you have a wide receiver that's just absolutely just letting the ball come to him instead of attacking the ball through it. I mean, that's going to cause his quarterback to have absolute heartburn.
Yep. This is hilarious. So let me see if I can hide this. A post stating that his yards per route run against man coverage was over 4. And that doesn't make any sense. But listen, he does well when it's designed touches and he actually catches it. He struggles immensely against corners that are even medium. Like there were so many times that I was watching his film and like going through and cutting up the tape that I need him to meet the ball. I need him to flatten his routes. I need him to run what it looks like the play design is supposed to be, and he's just rounding it, and he doesn't have the dog in him. It's terrible. But not a fan. We got one more play.
Do you think it's a matter of not having the hips to be more crisp with the routes? Is it a matter of feet, or is it a matter of just not running routes with any high level of acumen?
I don't want to say that it's not an effort thing, because like he's clearly worked his tail off to get to where he is.
Yeah.
But it does seem like he's a little lackadaisical at the break point, and maybe with a good wide receiver coach, if he gets some time to clean it up, he can learn to sink his hips a little more and like get into the breaks. But it's not where it needs to be now, considering his age and his timeline as it got him to where he is today. Evan, is that fair?
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think it's completely fair.
Cool. All righty. So here's the thing. Those first 3 plays, you're like, what is going on? And then he does this. He gets absolutely rocked. He played the rest of the game. He wasn't hurt here. He was just a little slow getting up. But he just low hit as he's touching the ball and manages to catch it. So, Evan, I'm going to let you go first, but what are your final thoughts on Xavier Legette? Like, where are you comfortable taking him in rookie drafts? Where do you think he's going to go in the NFL draft? The name of the episode is Vibe-Based Scouting. What are your vibes?
Yeah, we were talking about this as well, Mike. I know when you look on Mock Draft Database, they have him going as 42 right now. based off of consensus mocks, basically compilations of mocks. They have their specific mocks showing 28 to Buffalo. I just don't see any way where he should test well, but I think that's already baked into a lot of people's cakes and their evaluation with him. You look at the age-adjusted production on top of it. If you're telling me that I can get Legette as a back-end second, high third in my rookie draft, I'll gladly take him there, just because I think he does have enough of an athletic profile to be able to have a chance. But in the NFL draft, I mean, it says 42 on mock draft database right now, and I just think that's too high. I mean, that's like a solid second round pick, and I just don't see him going until the third in the NFL draft.
I think if he goes in the third, it's purely based off of testing. Like they're
and NFL coaches love projectability. They love athletes. They love to be able to be like, oh, I'm one of the best coaches around. I can definitely coach this guy. I mean, you got to think about that. And a lot of times they will take a flyer on that guy with the athleticism rather than the guy that is the precise route runner, the guy that runs a little bit slower but can cut his routes well.
Yeah. Not to put you on the spot, right now, Xavier Legette or Ladd McConkey?
Ladd, because I think he's going to have more production early.
Dude, it's Ladd by a mile.
Nah, I look, I'm not as high on Ladd.
Big Ladd guy. Tune into the show Thursday.
Okay.
But Tommy, what are your final thoughts on Xavier Legette? Where do you think he should go in rookie drafts and where you think he'll go in the real NFL draft? Well, I guess flip those because you do draft capital first. So
yeah, we don't know that yet, unfortunately. Let's assume that in your rookie draft, he's available somewhere in the second round. Those types of profiles, second or third round wide receivers, draft in the NFL, second round in your dynasty rookie draft, they've got like a 25% chance of hitting. That's being, a top 24 finish at any point in their career. So my hope, my goal, my aspiration, if I were to draft him, would have to be like a Kenny Britt style career where I'm getting, one top 12 finish in fantasy and some usable years. Nothing amazing, but that's really what you get in the second round of rookie drafts.
That's fair. I can't get this comp out of my head after somebody said it to me. I don't remember who, otherwise I'd shout him out on the show. He's just Jonathan Mingo. Like he doesn't separate well. He's touted as a physical freak, but then he's probably going to test above average, but not crazy. And he's not nearly as big as he said he was. Like that. he's Jonathan Mingo. So
that's fair. Yeah.
I'm excited for him. I'm rooting for him. Obviously, we root for all of these prospects, and they're all amazing human beings and would dominate the three of us if all three of us tried to do anything. But rookie drafts, he's off my board right now. So cool.
But every time